Pocket Now's iPhone 7 coverage is brought to you by dbrand. To buy the best fitting skin for your phone or tablet, please visit dbrand.com. Both Samsung and Apple are hoping consumers will part with their hard-earned cash for a lucky number 7. Now playing with the latest iPhone, it's time for a grudge match between the smaller offerings from each manufacturer. Now, looking at the specs on paper between iOS and Android phones is never really a true oranges to oranges comparison, but you can pause the video here to see which of these numbers matter most to you. With that out of the way, moving on to design, the new color options for Apple this season are 2 flavors of black. We'll be spending time with the matte black iPhone, mostly because I'm not a fan of glossy back devices. I really do like the look of this new iPhone, especially for these matching antenna bands. Samsung's done a terrific job of refining the look of the Galaxy over these last 2 years, and the S7 stands as one of the most attractive devices of the year. It'll be a personal preference whether people gravitate towards a metal or glass phone body. But between these two in front of us, it is kind of funny that they both show off fingerprints. We can already see the comments below this video that both will just live in cases, so why should it matter if they're beautifully designed phones? Moving over to the screens, Samsung chalks up an easy victory for the display this year. Not only a higher resolution and a brighter outdoor auto mode, this AMOLED panel delivers wonderful saturation and contrast. And for purists, switching the display to basic mode provides one of the most color-accurate screens available on any mobile gadget. It should also be mentioned that even though we have a larger screen on the Galaxy, the S7 doesn't feel that much bigger than the iPhone 7. Maybe one advantage for the iPhone, the home button is slightly easier to reach for folks with smaller hands. Speaking of those home buttons, Apple removing the actual button and relying on force sensors will hopefully improve on what's historically been one of the more common failure areas for the iPhone. And we're confident this button will age better than the easily scratched home button on the Galaxy. Taking a look at cameras, the iPhone 7 is nicely improved. Faster autofocus performance, a wider aperture, and optical image stabilization all add up to a better performing shooter. But we still need to give the overall win to Samsung. The Galaxy's focusing system is second to none and insanely quick. The larger image sensor helps eke out a win in lower light situations, and the app to control the camera is better organized with more options for folks of all photography skill levels. Where Apple still holds a clear lead is with HDR processing and slow-motion video, though we are disappointed to see that the iPhone still can't record stereo audio when shooting video. And I hate selfie cameras, but these two are a split decision. When shooting stills, we like the look of this new iPhone camera. Samsung has the wider field of view, but is more prone to washing out your shot and blurring details. For video, we'll give Samsung the nod. The iPhone finally produces 1080p video from the front camera, but Samsung has been producing Quad HD video from the front camera since the Galaxy Note 4. The flip side to the multimedia debate is audio performance. If Samsung slacked off anywhere, it was with headphone and speaker playback. The iPhone's stereo speakers help fill in a wider range and are louder than the single bottom-firing Galaxy speaker. We're not particularly fans of Apple's strategy to remove the headphone jack, but even through an adapter, the iPhone provides a more powerful amp to drive your headphones. The Galaxy will properly play back 24-bit audio files, but output is upper mid-pack at best. Both phones now feature water resistance with a slight edge going to Samsung with IP68 certification over Apple's IP67 rating, though in real-world use, how people might damage their phones, we don't know that there is a clear advantage for either device. Context is key, and say you dropped both phones on their backs in a rocky lake, the iPhone would likely survive that better, as any crack in the Galaxy glass would likely reduce the effectiveness of Samsung's water sealing. And this brings us to battery life. The iPhone 7 battery is larger than the iPhone 6s, but in refining our battery benchmark, it can't outperform the Galaxy S7. Streaming 30 minutes of HD video over Wi-Fi at 190 lux, the 6-month-old Galaxy S7 drained 6% of its battery, while the iPhone 7 drained 7%. These numbers look a little different than the tests we ran on the iPhone 6s, and that's because we used to only set phones to 50% brightness. Hitting 190 lux runs the iPhone screen brighter than positioning the brightness slider halfway. Both phones actually do a better than average job of hanging through moderate use days and getting us to dinner time with a little juice to spare. But for those times you need to top off during the day, the Galaxy also wins that race, even though it has a 50% larger battery than the iPhone. Now, Samsung claims the S7 can charge up to 60% in 30 minutes, but we've never gotten close to that on our Qualcomm-powered Galaxy. The best we've managed in that time is around a 35% charge. but that still handily bests the iPhone 7, which only managed a 26% charge when connected to the included charger for a half hour. It's a shame that for its power efficiency, Apple doesn't include a faster charger with the phone this expensive. So let's wrap this up. Where's that leave us between the iPhone 7 and the Galaxy S7? Well, obviously, when comparing these two phones, the clear winner is the LG V20. I kid, but seriously, these two phones seem almost perfectly designed in laboratories to battle each other. Apple executives might act like the iPhone is incomparable to other devices, but the iPhone 7 takes a large step in closing the gap on lifestyle features we enjoy, like water resistance and camera stabilization. And it's fair to say that Samsung has drawn its fair share of inspiration from Cupertino over the years too. Outside of an individual's preference between Android or iOS, if you really twisted our arms here at Pocket Now, we'd likely give a subtle edge to the Galaxy S7 in this comparison. The camera is formidable, and when staring at a phone screen all day, Samsung has a nicer display to gaze upon. However much that might mean one device wins over another, we'll leave that up to you guys to debate down in the comments. And of course, we do want to hear from you. Which phone takes the win between these two? Hit the more info icon in the corner of this video to vote in our viewer poll. Pocket Now's iPhone coverage is brought to you by dbrand. Check out dbrand.com to customize your iPhone with a real-time preview. Dbrand skins are designed to add grip, texture, and kill those jet black iPhone fingerprints. They ship worldwide, and iPhone skins start at under $10. If you're interested, links are in the description below. As always, thanks so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to this channel for our full iPhone 7 coverage, including our real camera review coming soon. And help us out with some sharing on your favorite social networks. For Pocket Now, I'm Juan Carlos Bagnell, some gadget guy on Twitter and Instagram, and I will catch you all on the next video.